Greetings, everyone. Oh, didn't know doing the screen already. Let's see. Get me big here. There it goes. Hey, so it's been a while. Finally, outside of a Facebook banning thing since September 11th. Um, so, anyways, haven't gone live like this in a while. It's been a crazy week since last Thursday. And things been going up and down, kind of hectic, getting in the way of all the other stuff I got to do. And I've been messing around with the plugs. I got rid of the Chinese smart plugs that I have here that hook up to my Echo devices, so I could turn the printers off and on just by voice. They have been going bad one at a time, and so it's like I have 3 of these plugs for each row of printers, and one of them went bad. I don't know why. The other one started to go bad. The USB was working, but it had USB lights, but the plugs themselves were not working unless I manually pressed the button, and then all the plugs were turned live, and I have power everywhere. And then about maybe 2 weeks later, that one died as well, and not even pressing the power button would turn it on. And then so I have one more that's here. I don't have anything plugged into it. It's on, but I don't have. It's, the plug itself is plugged in, but I don't have any items plugged into its sockets. And so I assume that one is also bad too, because I unplug things. But I need to do some proper testing, like see if the software got updated without me knowing and things like that. But in the meantime, I've been rewiring everything into manual plugs that have on-off switches. And so it's a bit hectic. I had things going the other way. Now I have the plugs going. So it's hectic. It's not nice to look at. I got wires from the sockets all in the front. I got to really take off everything and completely disassemble everything and reassemble everything all organized to do the job right. So that's where the wall of printers have been. I'm about to turn them on right now. I was working with them again this morning. And I got some orders to finish up, and including some desks and things like that. I'm going to go to get those out. It's been, like I said, it's been a crazy weekend. It's been really hectic. I got the other machines going. I have this machine I got to work on. I got the machine behind me I still need to work on. But with all that said, I've also been working on a pet project, a side project, mostly so I can kind of deal with avoiding burnout. It's just been a lot of rat races, one after the other, with getting things going and trying to be creative at the same time. It's been taking a toll. Suddenly I had this creative burnout, and so I've been trying to see how I can force myself past that. And so I've been taking pet projects or projects that were put aside, and I've been working with those side projects, been upgrading them with the intent of getting them on the store and producing them. Things like weapon systems, missile systems, a satellite thing, something for the conspiracy, action figure stuff for later. And at the same time, about 2 weeks ago, I started a World War I tank. And the thing about the tank is that it's a pet project from a couple years ago. And I started that one, well, more than a couple years ago. I started that one early on before we got laser cutters. So everything on that early version was to be designed just for 3D printing and in segments. And I knew it was going to be a nightmare project to do. I was thinking maybe I could just do one. and then have it on display. At the time was for JoeCon. So the idea was to have something, something unique on display at JoeCon. Then, things changed. We got laser cutters. We can do large sheets of ABS plastics and decorate the plastics. The VSS developed, started to work on projects for the VSS. And so a lot of the lessons learned on the VSS project can translate into other projects as well and benefit those other projects. So one of those is a World War I style tank. And so I have that one on the screen. I'm not going to work on it in this particular broadcast, but I'll show it. Can I show it? No. So it's this one, and it looks narrow and everything. I may widen the interior some more, but it's designed to be both 3D printed and laser cut. So right now, what I've been working with, just doing the floors, the walls for it, and I got the ceilings in the works. And what I've been doing is I've been working on this a little bit each week, making a video off of each step. The idea is that when I get to a certain point, I'll edit the video with a title, ending, some background music, that kind of thing, and do some sort of time lapse. And I've been trying to keep everything into a 1 hour segment. So try to do like a time lapse of that 1 hour, and try to condense it down to a few minutes. So that way y'all can see, what it takes to design something like a vehicle like this. And everything is, well, like I said, everything is being designed for laser cutting, the large parts. And it will be using 3D printing to secure and support each of those laser cut parts. So the floors and the walls, for example, will have some bracing for the to keep them strong. So I'm doing some 3D printed beams for the interior. And so basically the idea is just to do like the interior of a bunch of ribbing, attach the walls to the outside of that, and reinforce everything with some greebles that makes it look like it's armor and armor plating. And the wheels on this thing, let me switch over to the screen here. The wheels on this thing right now, just for assembly purposes, they are essentially just single cylinders. But in reality, the real things, they were like two wheels put together with a space in the middle, so that way the tracks can be guided, and so I'm going to do that too with these. But in terms of design, I don't need to be there yet. So I place these cylinders as placeholders where the wheels will be, and it'll be an interesting little design thing to see how I do it. Whether I do it in terms of 3 segments, a left side, a right side, in the middle to join them, I may do something like that. Or I'll see, maybe I can do it as one piece, and but we'll see how that goes about. And I still also have to determine how I'm going to do the tracks for this thing. I was thinking of getting some small door hinges, small things you find at Hobby Lobby, something small. Being metal, it'll be stronger and all that, and I can just 3D print something to join them together. But at the same time, I need to make this, how would I say, I don't know how many segments I would need, and so of course it would have to be tight. So I'm going to do little things like, for example, making one of the wheels adjustable, so I can loosen and put the tracks on and then tighten, things like that. In terms of what this would be ideal for, see, it looks kind of narrow, so I'm going to maybe divide this up and then kind of put a middle piece and make it wider. Maybe it should be about, up to here. So what would this be ideal for? I'm not going for historical accuracy. So it's going to be more for like a sci-fi setting, a post-apocalyptic setting, on using a classic World War I tank. So imagine something ideal for acid rain, something ideal for the Joy Toy stuff. A setting where someone is, doing everything they can to survive in the harshness of whatever planet they're on. Maybe this might be something for conspiracy. I don't think so, but. And so you got yourself an old style tank that you could put modern armor, modern technology armor, reactive armor, things like that. You can put, instead of old style cannons, you could put new style cannons, sci-fi type cannons, laser cannons, particle projection cannons, all sorts of stuff, a phalanx system, cameras all around. Basically, you just have fun just making something very unique and just making it into a small little diorama system. Because, well, it's a tank. And what can you do with a tank? You can load it up with a lot of gear, placement for figures. You could have more than one of them. One of them could be used as a armored personnel carrier. The top part of this type of tank could because there's the top part of these tanks tends to be vacant. You can put a turret, could put a turret and some sort of VTOL landing pad on the back. Can put some sort of missile system on the back. Can load it up with more stuff. Could put some sort of I don't want to say a trailer hitch, but can do something. Some of these things, some of these tanks, they had stuff to clear mines. Some of them had kind of like a bridge layer type technology where, one reason why these tanks were designed so long was so that they can go over a trench. Sometimes the trenches were extra wide, so the tanks were extended, and they were purposely made longer where the back part was really exaggerated. And some of them had like a mine type things on the front. Something with chains that they can flail. Others had a type of bridge thing where they would go over a trench, laying some sort of I don't know what was made out of, some sort of thing over the trench, kind of like a quick little bridge, and infantry can run across. So these tanks were useful in many ways, but of course they were slow and everything. But so imagine if you were to upgrade or make a tank using a modern engine, or let's say, for example, being slightly into the future, much more powerful engine, and put all sorts of advanced weaponry on there. So that was the idea, and I'm going to try to see what I can do with it. make it so you can add lots of gear on it, lots of gun emplacements or whatever you want to put. And so make it so it's basically a complete diorama thing. Instead of being a base, it's a moving base. Nothing new when you're a G.I. Joe collector. That type of concept is nothing new. They've been having that type of concepts from the early 80s. I forget what it's called. One of those large mobile bases that look kind of like a Star Wars sand crawler. So let's see. So I'm going to continue working with that, but not on this particular broadcast. What I have a couple of other ideas. One is a new freebie for the orders. So I'm going to try to do a quick little container. I saw an interesting little prop on one of I think it was the Star Trek videos that I was watching over the weekend, and I ended up having an idea, and I was thinking of instead of a cylinder, for a container, I was thinking something a little bit more like an oval, and I was thinking something a bit more high tech. So I was thinking of making a single part, so it's easy to print, has a handle for a figure to carry, a simple little freebie item. And so I was thinking of doing that, just put it together, maybe like 1 hour worth of design, and maybe about hour and a half of printing. And so every order has at least one of these things, and that might give the customer some other ideas or filler on background props and things like that. So, mouth is getting dry. I should have brought something to drink. Oh well. Well, with that said, I'm not going to continue with this particular item on the broadcast. It's mostly just to kind of give an update and let y'all know that it's been really hectic, really hectic. And but I am getting back into the swing of things, and so that means also the VSS is going to get back into the swing of things too. So I do have some things right now being printed on another machine for the VSS. Let me get that so y'all can see. So the new design for the VSS stuff, and this is probably going to be the final design. So what you see here, let me just make myself big. So what you see here is the old design, but instead of putting things together with pegs, like all these peg holes, I am using screws. So you can see right there, I got some M3 Allen screws, torque screws, cap screws, stem bolts, whatever you want to call them. Seems like everyone calls them something different. So I got those there. The idea is that it should help transport the VSS stuff, the DioWarriors stuff for the VSS to places like Joe Fest. Because what happened at Joe Fest is that everything of the VSS itself, all the MDF wood, breaks down. And that's what I have currently inside that box. So the VSS itself can be reassembled pretty quickly. Now, all the other stuff, like the engine area and all that that was designed to be basically one piece that I could just slip off of the VSS, transport, and just slide it back on. And that worked. But it is large. And that means that when I went to put it into the car, I did the boxes and everything first, and that had to go on top. And of course, I was bringing a TV and all those other things. So it got to a point where I was kind of like fighting for space. And because, being not designed to be, very durable, just designed to be for the VSS, but not something, something more. I was fearful about things like breakage, things like that. So I brought extra glue just in case. But something like this, I would be able to do several thoughts. One, it'll be easier to do it with screws that I can just simply unscrew a segment and then at the destination rescrew everything. So I can unscrew stuff and put into a box, protecting each piece. The other thing is that with screw holes instead of peg holes, I really can make this extremely long. So with the VSS engine part, this would have gone, would have been like this over the engine part. So I would have several segments of these things going up the hull of the VSS. Well, with this idea, I can actually, do another one and just mirror it to the other side and make it extremely wide. And you can even get to the point where you could have two VSS MDF woods side by side instead of length. It could be just wide. And this thing here will be able to span it. So that's what I'm working on this part. And not only that, but this idea also brings out other ideas, which I do want to discuss at a later time. But to give a quick little thought is that you can do a base out of this. And other kinds of vehicles, VSS size vehicles. So all I have to do is just keep on printing these and could do lots of other stuff. So that's what I'm working on here. And let's see. Okay. So yeah, so this is a nice little project, side project. It's been a while in the works, and now I'm getting back to that. So I'm just going to keep this video about 30 minutes long, keep things shorter. Oh, comments. Hey, greetings, Alexa Gonzalez and Joe Alcorn. Whoa. Hey. Post a comment. Greetings, everyone. Thanks for joining. Let's see. Okay, great. Yeah, okay, I don't really comment very often on this thing, so I sent a comment, a copy of the comment to the DioWarriors store, as well as on Facebook, as well as DioWarriors TV on YouTube. Hey, yeah. So anyways, I'm sorry. Is that I don't usually expect comments, mostly because several things. Usually, I like doing these videos, okay, and I like it especially when I can get like a hangout and get more than one person involved, and and talk and discuss whatever, toy reviews, 3D printing, things like that. I still feel like a fish out of water when it comes to doing the videos. So I'm kind of still trying to determine my style. Part of that is I do a lot of CAD stuff because that's the nature of DioWarriors, really. More software stuff, not necessarily CAD all the time. So that's a big part of my day, really goes into the CAD thing. And although I do have a lot for in terms of collecting, figure collectings, I really don't do a whole lot when it comes to toy reviews. I would like to. Back in the earlier days when we had the Google Hangouts and stuff like that, there were more content about toy reviews because everyone would spend about a month or so, and then they'll have like a month worth of toy hauls to show off and review. And I want to do that as well. So I'm in a position where I got a lot of stuff to show, and I got new stuff to show, and I got a lot of announcements to talk about. And then so what happens is that sometimes I end up focusing on one thing more than the other, such as CAD stuff. And of course, not everyone is into the CAD 3D stuff. They are more into knowing what it takes to get things going, the ideas involved, rather than seeing the actual mechanics going out. So what I'm trying to do on these videos is not to do the CAD stuff live on the screen anymore like I used to. Instead, I'm just going to like switch over. For example, I would do something like this. Go to the video, the CAD program, and talk about, let's say, this part, that part, and then do different views, and basically summarize the item. And then I'll see about switching back. Oh, you know what? I did all of that without actually showing the video. So, okay, let me do that again. You can see I'm like a fish out of water. Okay, so let me switch over to here. So what I would do is, instead of doing the design from scratch on the live broadcast, I'll just use the CAD items to kind of like show the object or the new product and talk about it briefly, but use the CAD things to show different views, the back views, top views, all that. And I'm thinking of doing that for each of the items that we have in the store as well. So it becomes like a quick little product review electronically, and then when the item is printed or laser cut or something, I'll be able to show the finished product. So, and that might be some interesting content when it comes to the video. You get to see a quick and dirty overview in CAD and the actual physical item. And if you're interested in more details, I intend to record separately the design, put it into a separate video, and do like a time-lapse thing. So y'all don't have to sit through, let's say, for example, a 3-hour CAD thing. You can just have it for 30 minutes, time-lapse. So that, in a nutshell, is what I'm going to be trying to do. And hopefully that's going to be a style that I can be comfortable with and everyone will be able to enjoy as well. Okay, so I'm going to, about 30 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and, I guess, stop the screen and begin wrapping up. So things have been hectic. I'm getting back into the swing of things, and orders are going out. I'm going to be working on starting these printers again and just cranking out the orders one after the other. I do have a number of inventoried items, so some orders are going to be able to get shipped faster now, because I've been as I've been doing the printing, I've been doing extra printing, so I do have a little bit of inventory on some of these items. And that's about it, really. So if you have questions, send me the questions, or wait for next Monday's live broadcast and ask the questions there. I'll see what I can do to answer them. Okay, well, thanks. I'll have more next week, I guess. All right, catch y'all later. Thank you for joining. Oh, by the way, help the channel to grow, spread the word, like, subscribe, all those other, YouTube type things. And I'll catch y'all next time. Laters. End broadcast. Oh, well, before I end it, what I can do is switch to the alien screen.